Oh, hey, just catching up on my IBM Connect 2016 news.
It's a recap, day 1.5 in at IBM Connect 2016.
Welcome, everybody. It is an IdoNotes Lotusphere / IBM Connect podcast. We are live at IBM Connect. This is day 2, so this is kind of a summary of day 1.5 if you want to look at it. First things first, I normally stand up right here and go look at the IBM Connect bag because everybody loves to see the bag. There's no bag. there's no bag. So when we signed up, we actually stood at this little area of pods, as you could call them. I have a picture right here for you. And these pods were just a big circle. You had some iPads there. You filled in your name, and they printed a badge and handed it to you. So from there, you were kind of on your own. There was these newspapers laying around. They didn't actually hand me one. I found these later on. But these are the IBM Connect 2016 news. So this not only is your newspaper, it is also your foldable pocket guide. So previously we had the little pocket guides on the badge holders. I didn't even get the badge holder over here. I mean, it's a standard badge looking thing. But this is the news. So this has a bunch of information in it. It has an agenda at a glance, which is the whole bottom part of that page, if you call that at a glance, I guess. And then the inside has the whole conference agenda for you. So that's the layout. So you pretty much have to carry around newspaper, but they really want you to use the mobile app. Let's be honest. They want you to actually have that mobile app in your hand all the time. They tell you to use it. They've been pushing updates to it of cancellations and ads and repeats and things like that. So there has been some good feedback from it. It is the same app that was used last year. I still have connections from the network last year. So it's kind of interesting. People are looking. Other stuff in here just gives you general info about the sessions. Of course, it has some ads and the normal stuff you would find in the old pocket guide. So enough about that. Let's move on, shall we? Talk a little bit about what's been going on. Going on overall. And I have some handy notes here for us. I'm trying to keep this brief. One of the big announcements was Project Toscana. Project Toscana, to the world of geeks, is Slack. So it's basically Slack for IBM, another way for enterprises to communicate and collaborate. It's going to hook into Connections, of course. Then they also moved on to announce the new interface between Connections and Verse, trying to meld it together. And they've gone back to what I would call the Google card approach almost, but basically a interface that has cards on it. And those cards have highlighted information, still have your little context across the top. There's tons of images online. Tons of people took pictures. They've been putting on Twitter. They've been putting up everywhere else you can possibly imagine, some blog posts. So there's a lot of those you can go and search. Search for the IBM Keynote. Now, as of the time of this, the Keynote itself for the replay was not available online yet on IBM Go. I'm not sure when it's going to show up, but at the time I recorded this, day and a half in, so basically more than 24 hours after the Keynote was done, it wasn't yet on IBM Go. I know I've talked about IBM Go before and even blogged about it, but it wasn't there. One of the key things I noticed during the week is, and I'm going to bring this up, they have an actual link in right here. No photography, video, I should say link, but text. No photography, video, or auto recording of any kind is permitted by attendees during Connect sessions. Every session had somebody recording and taking pictures and doing it. They did. Their phones were out. They were doing it. Heck, IBM gave you selfie sticks at the beginning if you were a customer. So you had people walking around doing that. One of the downfalls we found so far this year is the presentations aren't online. I was asked numerous times as a presenter, where is your presentation online? Well, it'll be on my blog, but they were looking for the site for IBM. I'm not sure where that is yet. I will update the show notes or another blog post when you can find those. And as you know, I always run the IBM Connect Sessions Database for all the public sessions. I post everyone that's embedded by any of the bloggers or IBMers alone. I put all those together. The past 3 or 4 years of all those are in one place. You can check the show notes for those. Other announcements. They covered IBM Next, so we're probably looking at the end of 2016 to see some information about that. There was some roadmaps this morning about the future of Notes, so they're basically saying, yes, there's still a Notes client for the next year or so, but the big push, of course, was Verse. Verse, Watson Verse. Is there going to be Verse on premise? Is there going to be Verse, only in the cloud? What is it? There was a lot of sessions, let me tell you. Technical sessions are deep. We've had some great content already. I've seen some great technical deep dives. Gab Davis has done some. I had some other business partners that I dropped in on, did some as well. I had my session this morning. We have more tomorrow on logging. There's a ton of stuff going on there. So you can find great technical content while you're here, but there's also a ton of marketing content. There's a lot of IBMers here that are really enjoying the information about Verse. And then there's a lot of people here as customers and partners trying to get information about the future of where they're supposed to go. Will the client be there? Is it just the Notes browser plugin or ICAA that I've written about before, the IBM Client Application Access? Both of those are still out there, and those type of other features. Other news, wasn't a lot. I mean, they put some great customer stories up. They had a couple students up there as how they're collaborating between universities. The keynote itself was meant to drive you into the future of how IBM still sees collaboration going, and that's enhancing connections and enhancing the smart cloud, including IBM Verse. I shouldn't say smart cloud anymore. We should say IBM Connections Cloud is what we should say. So that's about day 1.5. I want to keep it short. We'll probably have a follow-up wrap-up post and video coming up soon. Make sure you subscribe to all the Lotusphere podcasts that we've done over time, as well as seeing the one we did before. And yeah, we'll have some information on the Lotusphere cookie for you as well. Talk to you guys in just a bit.